So this next module, Module 9, it goes into a little bit more advanced things. So I want to make sure that you've gone through all of the previous modules, you understand them. Also, you have all your potential, resources. You've got all your spreadsheets, you understand what the bidding models are before we ever process into this, because this is something that Google's actually going to jump you right into whenever you log into your system, right? The first thing you see whenever you log into your system is the recommendations tab. And one of the things, they used to put it up in the corner, and whenever I worked for them, like one of the things, 90% of the people that ever messed up their accounts, unfortunately, they probably clicked on the recommendation tabs and they have probably blindly actually hit one of the recommendations that Google, applied. And there is some very, very helpful stuff in here. Stuff is editing your budget, keywords, bidding structure, even how to actually write ad text and things along those lines, or even breaking out your accounts. But if you don't know how to effectively understand what the impact of these conditions are, then you can really, really cause some harm for the account. So one of the first things you want to do whenever you get into your Google account is turn off these recommendations. Now, I'm going to show you in the screen recording that's attached on how to actually turn those off to make sure that they don't auto-post to your account. But there's very, very relevant tools in there that'll kind of teach you how to, either add additional keywords, control your budgets, increase your ROI. They can even actually provide some very, very valuable resources about keywords that you should add to the account. But again, you can't just go into the recommendations tabs and hit apply to mass all, because again, if I'm selling hot tubs, they may just actually put tub in there as a keyword as a recommendation. Okay, when breaking out the structure. So you really, really need to dissect them, make sure you understand them, and that's what we've kind of built in the previous modules, is we've built that knowledge and that understanding in the system for you to be able to make that educated decision when you can use the recommendations tab while Google is using its smart learning to tell you exactly how to optimize your campaign, for a more profitable nature. But again, keep in mind, a lot of the recommendations that are made in the account are based off of you having unlimited budget. And we don't all have unlimited money. I understand that. And honestly, that's good, right? You should be more conservative. You should be more calculative around your approach. So make sure when you're diving into the recommendation tab that it hits your goals and what applies to your target audience, okay? Now, the other thing that we're going to dive into is the Adwords Editor. The Adwords Editor is one of my favorite tools because it's an offline editor for your Google ads. A lot of the problem that happens within Google is you just get lost, especially when you've had multiple campaigns in there, those things. Like to be able to see what all of your ad groups are within one campaign, you can kind of see that on one screen, but say you get 3 or 4 campaigns in there, all of a sudden it becomes much more cluttered. AdWords Editor is going to help you simplify that, and it's a nice free tool that Google actually offers in order for you to just be able to amend your account at scale. Okay, their definition is that, hey, it's for people that operate 100 to 200,000 keywords, and you can make edits on a mass scale. But it's much more than that. From a visualization standpoint, it's going to give you the ability to fully see the structure of your accounts. It's going to see all of your ads on one screen, even if they're in multiple ad groups, which you cannot do that in the system. Okay, if you want to check your URLs on all of your campaigns and make sure they're not going to be denied, you can't do that within the system, right? You need to be able to do that within AdWords Editor. You can see them all on one screen. And again, it's an offline tool, so you can make all these edits and you can do all the necessary optimizations that you planned out and what the data is telling you to do, and then you post them to the account without having to worry about if you mistype or fat finger something and you put in extra words, okay? This is going to give you the ability to review your changes and then post them, and it's a nice it's got some error stuff in there as well that before you post, if it goes against policy, if it, for anyone, of their endless amount of rules that they have for ad text, keywords, and whatever within the account, all of that is going to flag it before you actually post it online so you don't make an error. Because the unfortunate part is every single time you get a denial, every single time you make a mistake within your Google account, it checks it. Check mark, check mark, check mark, right? You get too many of those check marks, Google doesn't want to do business with you. Like I said in the previous tutorials and lessons, is Google is all about the consumer, and what Google actually perceives anytime that you're disapproved, make a mistake within the account, is that you're not trying to follow the rules and you're trying to bend them in some way. So we want to avoid as many of those check marks as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and move on to the screen recordings, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through both of these tabs, give you some best practice and methods that I use to really help utilize these for the best performance, save time, save money, and increase conversions. And again, with increased conversions, that's increased success. So let's jump in there and we'll get diving in.